Electricast.
There are people out there all across the country pushing boundaries to grow the game of golf. Like champion speed golfer Lauren Cupp, who plays faster than anyone else. And Will Lowry, whose work in the golf community inspires more kids to get into the game. As a champion partner of the Masters, Bank of America supports everyone determined to find out what's possible. In golf and in life. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America. Bank of America N.A. member FDIC, copyright 2025, Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
McDonald's meets the Minecraft universe with one of 6 collectibles and your choice of a Big Mac or 10-piece McNuggets with spicy Nether Flame sauce. Now available with a Minecraft movie meal.
At participating McDonald's for a limited time, a Minecraft movie only in theaters.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you are about to listen to the most entertaining and informative wrestling podcast out there. That is not a prediction, it is a spoiler, and this is Kayfabe Critics. Well, it's Thanksgiving week, so you all know what that means. This is Kayfabe Critics. I am Michael Marcangelo, joined by my guy, Hollywood Rayshawn Buchanan. We are thankful that you are listening. We are thankful to be here, but we are thankful to be talking about Survivor Series War Games. And I think, Ray, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm more gassed. This is the most I've been gassed up for a Survivor Series War Games since the one that we went to that was in Boston.
Yes.
This feels like it's they're making the big fours, I think, really pop again. And I do love the fact that War Games is a part of Survivor Series. I know that we'll get into it in a little bit, but how do you feel like the road to Survivor Series has been? Because it felt like a little stagnant in October, right? And then it just fucking picked up.
Yeah, I feel like it picked up again after Crown Jewel, which I think maybe that's their intent now. I think that they, did that as like, the Crown Jewel belt, and so obviously, Cody Rhodes wanted Liv Morgan. Like, it's been those 2 years. Right? It's been the year of Liv Morgan, been the year of Cody Rhodes, obviously. But yeah, I would agree that it's been somewhat stagnant. Like, I haven't caught every Raw or every SmackDown, but like I said, the last couple of weeks I've seen some highlights. Like I said, we'll get into that certainly, because I feel like there's some things that are setting up for what WrestleMania 41 is going to look like, or even the Royal Rumble before we get to WrestleMania. So yeah, I mean, they've done pretty well. I feel like the reason why it was kind of stagnant is that they were trying to give more of a focus to the new launch of NXT on the CW, which is fine. I get that. And side note, they've been cooking down there too.
Oh yeah.
Listen, Shawn Michaels is on a different level when it comes to finding these women wrestlers. You understand me? So I'm like the boyhood dream is so true. I'm like,
that's right.
Thank you, Shawn. I was like, man. I'm like, I tried to put that out there. I was like, give the man credit where it's due. It's crazy. He's done so much in his career. This might be his work. So thank you, Shawn. But yeah, so I think that's part of the reason why it might have felt stagnant. But yeah, I've enjoyed most of the storylines. I said I'm enjoying. Like I said, I like the card was put together. I said we'll talk about the card as the show progresses. But yeah, Triple H has been cooking. Like I said, I do eventually want to get back to the different matchups with Survivor Series. Like we'll get into that. But like I said, but as far as the storylines, like I said, I'm fine with the storylines. I'm excited to see this unfold on Saturday night.
And obviously, over the course of the last couple of weeks, there's been 2 new women's championships added. Obviously, you have the Women's United States Championship and then the Women's Intercontinental Championship, right? So how do you feel about it? Number one, and who would you pick to be the first, respectively, of each to hold each belt?
So this is long overdue, right? Let's be clear. I felt like the women's division is the best it has been. I think that I almost feel like the right time would have been in 2016 when we saw them, with Sasha and Charlotte and Bayley and Becky Lynch and Carmella and just Naomi. Like there's so many I'm probably missing, but those are just ones that come to mind right away. But it's unbelievable to think that they've even taken a step up from where that was, because 2015 and 2016 was amazing. Once again, the best match to me ever in women's history happened in 2015
Brooklyn.
in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? So like by far. So like it's not close. Second is Trish and Lita on that Monday Night Raw, 4 years ago. But yeah, like I love the fact that they finally came up to that. I think they listened to the fans. I think the fans have been clamoring for that. But I've been one of the leaders of that charge, so I'm glad that they took heed to that and made that a thing. It also will introduce us to new talent that,
Right.
just let's see how they handle being in that spotlight as a mid-carder or even upper mid-card or eventually a main event, player in certain pay-per-views. So we'll see how that goes. I do think that eventually this leads back to, I don't know if they'll name it Evolution again, but it maybe now you can have it all women's pay-per-view now. If you have the Raw, the women's world champion, the WWE women's champion, and now you have all these
Yeah.
belts that have it just all women's pay-per-view. So I do think that that's something they can get back to, and maybe that's their vision for that. But to get back to what you said initially about who should good for the US title, Chelsea Green.
Yes.
She absolutely, she deserves that moment. She earned that Money in the Bank. She stole the show at Money in the Bank, and I feel like it's time to give her flowers in that regard. I would love to see her get that first, women's U.S. women's title. It's funny. I was joking you earlier going to say call it belt, but I'm like, you can't call it belt. Even though we don't work for the company, we can say whatever.
No,
we
can't
want.
do that.
You can't do that, right? So give it a strap. Oh, but yeah, Chelsea Green for sure should be the first one for the U.S. Championship for the IC, and only because I see her now as the current workhorse. I had to give it to Bayley. I let Bayley be the first IC because that title was always representing the workhorse. She to me defines currently what it means to be the workhorse. I would love to see Bayley be the first person to get that. She'd be deserving of that too.
Yeah, I think. Listen, those are both great picks. I think I'm very happy about these two editions. Right, like there's always obviously always on the IWC, like there's just people are just they're not happy unless they're upset.
Right.
And more titles is going to water it down. But no, it's like, listen, if you are presenting a women's division that is equal to a men's division, you have to have the same championships.
Right.
And having an Intercontinental Women's Champion makes whatever world champion, whether the WWE or the World Heavyweight Champion, stronger because now there's actual, like you can see contention. Oh, so the IC champ, if they lose, they're going to go after the world champ. Right? Like that's what it's always been on the men's side. I agree with both of your picks, but I just have one one that differs. I want Chelsea Green to be the Intercontinental Champion.
Okay.
And I want Zelina Vega to be the United States Champion.
I
think she's long overdue to hold the belt.
Yeah.
And anytime they have shined the light on her, she has just fucking performed. That match in Puerto Rico was great. I mean, anytime she has she's given a chance on the mic or she's given a chance in the ring, she shines. Right. So give her the respect that she deserves.
Yep. No, so it's funny because I was thinking about having her as the number one contender. So I definitely believe that she should be in that picture for sure. Like I just thought that. So I'm glad you addressed it and said that because like she said she definitely would be deserving as well. But like I said, that Money in the Bank match sold it for me when it came to Chelsea Green, and also for her to help elevate Piper Niven as well, and them to be like that silly goofy tag team. My only thing is like just they got to find a way to make every title prestigious. Because once again, they've kind of dropped the ball with the women's tag team championship.
It's like every time that there's a new champion, somebody gets hurt for the women's tag team. Like
right.
Every time.
Yeah, so it's definitely cursed in that regard, low key. So it's just like, and once again, they started off right because years ago when they started, I think it was 2019. They did it like that was a great match to get the what is 2019? I think it was 2019.
2022, right? Wasn't it?
No, women's tag team title.
Was it 2019? Sasha.
Yeah, for the first one. Yeah, so yeah, they won it. Yeah.
No, Sasha and Bayley were. They wanted the
Yes, I'm sorry. I was sorry. I was there when the Iconics won. Yeah. Sorry. That's
Okay, yeah, you're right.
I got it mixed up, but yes, yeah. So they started off strong and giving it to Sasha and Bayley, and then
they changed.
They won it. Yeah. So that was a really good match at that 35. So so that's there, but I think they just got to find a way to build that prestige there. Lots of people have some long runs too, like we had it on the men's side too. So if you have Bayley running for a year, and then, like I said, it makes it more prestigious when that person beats them a year later or 6 months later or whatever it may be. So, um, never been. I would say never been a fan, but I don't love the hot potato
No.
style of title changing. I think to me that weakens the belt. That weakens the championship in that regard. So I don't love that. But yeah, I'm excited to see how they do it. I don't know. I'm assuming they're gonna have like a tournament for it. You know, kind of. I mean, granted, maybe because this was around the war game thing, so they didn't want to. And also, but I would have loved to see them do like a match for that at this event. Maybe they do it at the Royal Rumble. Who knows? I don't know.
No, I think they're gonna it's Saturday night's main event. I think that's
What's
what's
that?
gonna
Oh,
be
right. Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha.
I think
Yeah.
both of those are gonna be the selling point for them because the last time that they were in that Long Island Coliseum, in Nassau, I'm pretty sure it was Evolution. Well, they sold that out.
Gotcha. Yep. Yeah, it was. Yes. Yep.
So,
So,
and I
but
can't wait to have Jesse Ventura on the call. That's gonna be so good. I cannot. He's gonna be
yes.
back. He's
Yeah,
gonna be
it's funny. Side note, I just saw the video of when he came back years ago to be the Raw guest host. I mean, I've
oh,
seen him before, but it's been a while. And him and Vince were, going back. Well, mostly him burying Vince on the promo and how he didn't, he sucked at this. He was like, he's like, oh, your father made you an announcer because you wasn't as good. And then, here's a tuxedo and he came out and did that. Cause I think people, from a younger generation, we know Vince is the announcer because we're old enough to remember. But, I was like, yeah, people forget what it is. He had a lot of great calls as an announcer. So like I said, obviously, the first one I think of is WrestleMania 12,
yep.
when Sean beats Brett, what I'm saying, like that. You always forget, you always remember that. So yeah, so it's just like, that's that. Or, with Miss Elizabeth and Randy Savage at WrestleMania 7, like you remember those calls. So that was cool to see. So yeah, I look forward to seeing that happen. I'm not surprised that he did it because I feel like that's what fans are going to remember him from as that. So yeah, so that should be cool. So I'm excited to see those matches unfold and see who they choose to crown.
So before we talk about the card and the build up to each match, one thing that's missing, and has been missing for at least 3 years for
Mhm.
Survivor Series are the traditional 5-on-5 Survivor
Yeah.
Series matches.
Yep.
How do you feel about them not being on the card anymore? Like, do you miss them, or do you think having one, even with the War Games match, would be too much?
So I feel like it should alternate. Right, I feel like you still have it, right? 'Cause I know that I think it was Dusty Rhodes' idea, so I think that's why they hold on to it, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. I just think they should alternate because I miss it. I just watched the one where it was like Team Cena versus Team Authority.
Well, Sting.
Yes, yeah, when he came at the end, yeah. But that was Dolph Ziggler's best match.
Yeah, he was a star.
You know what I'm saying?
Star.
So, like, you miss those moments, or you know, uh, Survivor Series '06. You open your eyes to CM Punk, right? You be who was this guy?
Oh, but
Company,
in my opinion, sorry to cut you off there. 03.
no, right,
Team
of
Austin
course.
versus Team
No,
Bischoff.
right, exactly, and and he's running down there like I said. Sean's doing his best one man impression. And, it's just like what yeah, you know what I'm saying. So you
Yep.
remember that, or even the next year, right? Team Angle versus Team. Oh God, I can't remember. I just watched this. Team Angle versus Team Lesnar.
Yep.
Right. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just once again that and you're seeing the beginning of John Cena at that moment. I mean, he was already there, but I mean that took him to you knew he was about to become a main event player after that match. So I just think to me those
That was the same year.
maybe it
'Cause,
was
because
I forgot. Yeah, but I
04, Brock was out.
Gotcha. Okay, yes, that's true. So it was '03. Yeah, correct. But yeah, so I don't know. I think to me, the fact that we could go back and remember those matches right away, just speaks to those moments that meant so much to us as kids. But yeah, I just think they should alternate. Once again, don't get rid of it, obviously, but just alternate the years. But I get why they had it for this time around because of the matches that are happening. But yeah, just alternate them.
All right, so before we get into the actual matches, let's talk about the build for each match. There are obviously some star-studded matches on here, but there are some that don't feel as big as they should. But I do think that, and those two matches I'm talking about are for the IC title and the US belt, right?
Mhm.
U.S. belt, we got LA Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura. This is now the fourth incarnation of Shinsuke. I'm forward. I want, like, he should always be on TV.
Mhm.
Always, because he always performs in the ring. How do you think the build for this one has been?
I So I maybe because I just like singing the song along with them. Like I just like face Shinsuke. I just do. Cause that's how I was introduced to him here. Like I didn't see too much of him in NXT. My first time seeing him was his last match in NXT for WrestleMania 33, right? And 2017-18 for him was insane. You know, yelling, whoa, like what people do for Seth Rollins right now is what people doing for Shinsuke for at least
Yep.
3 or 4 years at that time. So I missed that. But I mean, you know, after the stuff that happened with AJ Styles, he was like, you know, sorry, no speak English. You know, like I mean, I don't know, once again, I don't know why they think he's better as a heel. I don't think he's better as a heel personally. But as a performer in the ring, I mean, dude is great. And you know how I feel about LA Knight, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. So yeah, I mean, I like that they had him come in and do a couple of attacks on him. I don't know who gets put over there, but like I said, I like the fact
It
that they
has to
say
be. It
on
has to be
TV.
LA, right? At
I
this
mean, yeah, I
point,
mean, for how they jerked him around the last year or some change, where you're like, yeah, let he should have this going into WrestleMania. We should have to talk about WrestleMania. Period. If you want him to drop it there, cool. But he should have he should come. He should walk into 41 as the champion. Absolutely, absolutely. So
is that what you think happened? Do you think Triple H puts Shinsuke over?
I wouldn't be surprised if Shinsuke got put over, but I think that LA Knight wins.
Yeah, I'm with you. The Intercontinental Championship match, we have Bron Breakker versus Sheamus versus Ludwig Kaiser. I thought they did a fantastic job on Raw,
Mhm.
adding Sheamus to it, creating the match. Like, that brawl was great. Also, side note, I haven't been this happy with GMs in WWE, like in the WWE universe,
Mhm.
since it was Stephanie and Bischoff. Like,
Yes.
I think Pierce
Yes.
does a fantastic job.
Mhm.
And then I literally just had his name.
Oh,
They had,
Nick Aldis, yeah.
yeah, Nick Aldis on SmackDown. I fucking love it. Like,
Yeah, they're great.
they're both great at their job. So I think that this should be the McIntyre Sheamus Gunther match from Mania a couple of years ago on the card. Like,
Agreed.
this should
Yep.
be an
Yep.
absolute fucking barn burner.
Agreed.
Um, so how do you feel about the build, and what do you think? Who do you think's gonna win?
I'm ready for Sheamus to finally get it done, man. Like I'm like it's time. Once again, the only time that he hasn't won in WWE. But once again, I just don't know if they have Breakker lose twice in a year. And I know you're big on like if you're gonna be built to be the next guy, it doesn't make sense story wise for someone to lose twice in a year like that,
Right.
unless you're going in a different direction with them. So the fan in me wants Sheamus to get it done and you know, get that victory. But I think storyline wise, it was if Breakker is a starter, you're building out of this, or even you know for Kaiser for that matter, if you're building them two to be up, being main event guys going forward, it makes sense to put Braun over and that sense of retain.
I mean, listen. I love Jay. I love the fact that he's now a former Intercontinental Champion. But you should have never done that. Like, you should never have let Jay win just for a couple of weeks just to put the belt back on Bron Breakker.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it was gonna happen because we knew that was gonna be part of the story with Roman Torres. Like, so it was almost predictable. I think well, I- it was this is a little different what I'm about to bring up, but it kind of felt like when Mankind won on Monday Night Raw years ago. It was like, yeah,
The-
it was
That
great. It
was
was
the Worcester Centrum. I was there.
yeah. So it was great to see that Mankind had finally won and you know became the world champion. But it was you didn't think it was gonna be a long title run.
Sure.
You know, as a kid, you didn't think he was gonna be like he wasn't gonna hold it longer than Rock or Taker or Hunter. Like that wasn't gonna happen. It was a cool feel good story in the moment,
Yep.
which is why I feel like they kind of did that to appease Jay in the moment, which I'm like, I don't love that because once again, if we've been to a few shows together since then, he's fucking over.
Over.
Like, over like, I mean, like, over, like, it's unbelievable, and he gets the same reaction every time. I've seen him in Cleveland this year. I've seen him in Philly this year. Like everywhere he goes, excuse me, the reaction is the same. So I'm like, so much so they play his theme song at the Bruins games now, right? During intermission, they'll play this. I'm like, I got a tape of this, but they were playing Stone Cold, now they're playing his. So think about that. That's huge. You know what I'm saying? So and they still play Shane McMahon's theme too, which is funny. But I'm just like, it's unbelievable. So yeah, maybe he gets another run. You know, maybe they get back into the tag team picture with him and Jimmy. But I'm like, Jay has done so well in a solo run that I feel like he should get one more shot. I'd like to see him in LA Knight for the United States Championship. I think that would be a really good, pairing there. So yeah, who knows? But yeah, either way, this is going to be one of the good matches of the night. And but like I said, I think that Breakker retains and continue his path of destruction going forward.
This good old JR once said, like, this should be a slobber knocker. It should.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Tougher than a $2 steak. I fucking
yeah.
Also, before which it's worth noting to everyone out there listening, if you are listening on Friday, obviously it'll be a great Thanksgiving, all that pleasantries. We're recording this on a Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
It's very odd to me that the WWE Championship is not being defended. The champion isn't even on the card. So, what are the odds that they hotshot it and tell us about Friday how it's going to be KO versus Cody for the belt at Survivor Series? Like, and any chance that they do that?
They should. Once again, how do you have one of the big four PLEs? PLEs, but that's PLEs. How do you have that? Yeah, Jeez. How do you have that and not have the face or one of the current faces, on the card? Like that's insane. Once again, and it feeds back to what people say. That wouldn't have happened with Roman. Roman would have been on there, and that's true. He would have been there for all big four.
100% true, yeah.
So Nick Gold is Friday night. I think they're in Vancouver, right? There's no way that I don't know how they're gonna storyline it. Maybe it's like another attack, or maybe KO does like a Daniel Bryan type thing and takes over the ring and says give me what I want. So I think go full Batista. Give me what I want.
Well, they should actually have. That's a great idea, but they should have Cody do it. He's the champion. I'm not. I am not. We're not going to commercial. You're not. The next segment will not start until I get my match with Kevin Owens tomorrow night.
And I'd be totally on board.
Right.
Totally on board with that. And I would open with that.
As you should.
I would open with that. We know what the main event's gonna be. But I would open with with that. I think that would be, like I said, unless they have him being a part of the men's war game at the end, which I don't know if that makes sense or not. But
no, it doesn't.
It does. No, I know, but we've seen them do things that don't make sense before.
Sure.
Just, what the hell is going on? So we'll see.
So come on, Triple H, do the right thing. Make that match. Have your WWE champion be defending his belt, or at least just be on the card at one of your big four PLEs. Okay. Yeah. Next match we have is the women's war game match, where we have Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Iyo Sky, along with Bayley, who we just learned will be the 5th member, taking on Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae. First, let me just say this. Everyone in this match can deliver, except for Raquel Rodriguez, in my opinion. In my opinion, I'm not a big Raquel Rodriguez fan in the ring. I'm sure she'll grow on me. But,
well, okay, before you go, I want to speak to that. You remember her NXT run when she won the Dusty Rhodes Classic? I was like, oh, like, who is this? Because they presented her like as like the next, like, kind of brute force in the women's division. So, but then she got hurt. She got hurt because she got hurt, and it was kind of a stagnant, run when she got to the main roster. But if she could go back to what she was at NXT, she can deliver. It's just a matter of how she's presented, and is she going to keep working at the crowd? Because she can go. It's just a matter of I don't know if she's really good on her mic, but in the ring, she's decent. She can do that. She's sorry in the ring.
You're right.
Yes.
You're right. But the part that handicaps her here, on the main roster is that the two big forces on the main roster are Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, and let's just say Nia Jax.
Right.
So you can't be a monster to those three because that's literally their gimmick too.
Yeah.
Aside from Bianca, but Bianca's always billed as like an underdog, but she's, I would say, pound for pound stronger than most men on that roster.
Absolutely. We've seen her bonus.
Like, you can't have Rhea Ripley be a sympathetic baby face to a monster Raquel Rodriguez. It won't work because Rhea looks like she could eat her for lunch. You know what I mean?
I'd pay to see it.
This is PG still. We'll talk in January on Netflix, but I do think that this should be a great match. Like, it should be fun, a lot of spots. I think Tiffany Stratton's going to cash in on Nia Jax during the match.
Yeah, that'd be a great twist.
Like, why not?
I've been yelling at every time since she won it.
I'm a convert. Yeah, I've come over to the dark side.
Thank you.
No pun intended. But
I was like, we said it early on. I'm like, yeah, but she's got it, man. It's like, it's like Tiffany time. I was like, yeah, I can't wait. So, and once again, this is so disrespectful. So I want to apologize in advance. Candice LeRae might be the Mike Knox for this match.
Yeah, which sucks.
She feels like a throwaway, which that's wild. She shouldn't be. But she's gonna be the Mike Knox because she's obviously gonna be the first one to get eliminated. Like, because there's nothing she and as good as she can be and has been, she doesn't really fit into this story. It was just like she literally is talent enhancement for this match. It's wild, but it's like that's really whatever being real. Like, she's talent enhancement for this match. I feel like I could see Rhea Ripley hitting her with the Riptide 1, 2, or 3 and be like,
was she in this match?
What's he meant? What's that like that? That would be wild. So, but yeah, I had to make that point. Like I said, that's something I thought about all day when we talked about it. I was like, yeah, it sucks that she's even gonna be seen in that way. But I'm like, story wise, it doesn't make sense. But yeah, I think Liv Morgan is a sole survivor though.
So who wins? So you think Liv Morgan wins?
Yep. Because once again, it's been her year. It's been her year, and will Rhea get a little bit of her payback and some? Sure, great, but I think they have her pin Rhea.
Damn.
Yeah, but once again, only because it's been her year. It's not like
Dom's obviously going to get involved. He's
sure. I'm right, exactly. So he'll jump off the cage or whatever. So like that's. Can you imagine being another heel turn? Go back to. You imagine?
That'd be a face turn.
Yeah, no, what? Yeah, but I'm like, yeah, another turn back. I mean, yeah, that was so insane at SummerSlam. That was wild, but yeah, I think Liv is a soul survivor. I think that she's, like I said, it caps off what she's been this year, and it's been a long arc for her. Like, I remember that match she had at Day One a couple of years ago, where I think she really came into her own then, and she's been on fire ever since. So yeah, I think that they close it out and give that to her. She ends up being a soul survivor.
So I think that something happens between Liv and Rhea that it's kind of like a schmoz, right? Because they don't want to put anyone over again right now because it's not one-on-one. The ending of this match to me is Bianca does something to Nia and pins her, and then Tiffany's still at ringside, cashes in, and jumps on Nia and then runs away. I don't think they're going to take the belt off of Liv, which they shouldn't. Nia, for what it's worth, she hasn't irreparably injured anybody in this run, which I think is great good for her. But I think she's doing fine. Like, she's not she's not good in the ring, but she's not terrible anymore.
Yeah, I love that they've added the. Well, I mean, it's not what it's called for her, but it's the same move. I love that she's added the bonsai drop to her repertoire. It took long enough. I'm like, that should have been her finishing move from the fucking jump.
Well, she didn't know how to do it without killing somebody. Like, there's been a couple times that she's done it so far, and like to Rhea especially, and you just see that she's not padding her landing.
Yeah, because I'm just like, yeah, And shoot some thoughts.
January, Netflix. Don't worry about it.
Netflix, yeah. Stay tuned. But yeah, but I'm glad they've added to the repertoire. And yeah, I mean, it's made her look more dominant, and she's looked good because eventually she's going to put over Tiffany. Like that's clearly why they were paired together. And yeah, it's not the same vibe like it was with her and Alexa Bliss. So I like that it's not the same in that regard. But yeah, I think that eventually she puts her over and calls it a day. So yeah, but like she's been good in her role. So she's had the titles to SummerSlam, right? So yeah, she's done pretty well. Yep.
And I would just love to cash in, because this would be one of the most ridiculous ways to cash in.
Yes.
And like they're just going to make a splash.
Yep.
But I do think that Rhea Ripley's team wins. I just don't know how. The next match is World Heavyweight Championship. Gunther versus Damian Priest. I think they've done a really, really good job building Damian Priest back up.
Yep.
Because it didn't make any sense that he lost his title unfairly at SummerSlam. Was never next in line for a rematch, and he was okay with it, right? Like that just didn't make any sense in my mind. I get it, like in terms of their booking, what they wanted to do, but now like over the last couple of weeks, where he's had Gunther questioning if he's still as good as he used to be, if he's running from him, and then I just love the last call to the table on SmackDown. Was that Raw? One of the two shows.
Yeah,
it was Raw, I think.
No,
fucking
Raw,
awesome.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome. Like that's how you start off the show.
Yep.
So good for them. Good job getting Damian Priest back up here. Gunther has to win.
I mean, but Priest grew on me as the champion though. Like, and at first I was there. His cash out was great at WrestleMania. It was awesome how that unfolded. He grew on me, El Campeon. So he definitely grew on me. But yeah, once again, story wise, booking wise, and once again, I think they're looking at Gunther as a guy that's just going to have long reigns when he's the champion. So I'm okay with that. I think that's going to be one of the best matches of the night, because I said they delivered when they did it. They went around the first time. So yeah, but yeah, Gunther probably retains.
Yep. All right, and now the main event, which, by the way, even though we all saw this coming at SummerSlam, actually even WrestleMania, it's fucking awesome. I mean, the Bloodline storyline has now gone on for literally 4 years, and it's still so good.
Yep.
Like, I love the fact that you have Roman, Usos, and Sami Zayn, but then, man, on SmackDown, when you heard ladies and gentlemen, and you heard Paul's voice, it's like, oh my God. I actually thought for a second it was going to be Brock.
You imagine?
Well, I think Punk makes more sense. Far more sense.
I mean, but
yeah, that would have been wild. But when they introduced Punk, that place went fucking nuts. And this is perfect. I think Solo has done a great job as the leader of the new Bloodline. I think Jacob Fatu is a fucking force of nature. They presented him so well. The Tonga brothers, I don't love.
He's going to be in the main event picture soon.
He has to be.
It has to be. Has to be. I'm sorry. Like, he's like, I know this was the Ray Solo, and once again, Solo has done incredible. Jacob Fatu is the star out that group. I'm sorry. Like, the other star, right? I'm like, the other star of that group. That he just has it. Whatever it is, he has it for sure.
He's so good in the ring, and he doesn't say anything outside, but he just, like, he's one of those guys that speaks without actually moving his mouth. You know what I mean? Like, you understand exactly what he's saying or not saying, what he's trying to transmit. I think this is going to be, this should be full of theatrics. Do you think that Paul Heyman turns on Roman Reigns?
I do.
And if so, how? Like, what would he do? Wow. To do what?
So, it was on Twitter, and I wish I had sent the picture, because I wish we could put it up. But
was it how he matched what Solo was wearing?
And it's all in the details, right? You dress like Solo, and then you're looking at Roman with like this menacing look. And if you remember, well, of course we remember because we're big wrestling fans. Survivor Series 02, the next big thing, Brock Lesnar for the championship against his Big Show. He turns on Brock there, and it was out of left field. You didn't expect it, you never saw it come, So that to me, this would be the perfect time, be perfect. Everyone's excited. Oh, the wise man's back. I acknowledge you, my tribal chief. You're the OTC. Not anymore. You're not. Solo, I love you and I acknowledge you as my child. It big. Like I said, we're not even in the 5th inning yet. We're just not. So I think to me that would be cinema. It'd be cinema again to see that happen. And if it doesn't happen at Survivor Series, by the Royal Rumble, I think that happens.
But I think
it needs to happen Saturday though. Not Royal Rumble. It needs to happen this week.
So I do think that Paul distanced themselves from Roman, but I think it's for Punk. I think because I do think the next it has to be Roman and Punk, right? Has to be
at 41.
It has to be.
But to me, where does that happen with Seth? Because you didn't get the match with Seth, and then you know what I'm saying, like that. Because to me, it was going to be Seth and Punk, obviously, like that was the plan. I still want to see that happen. Like I want to be perfectly clear. Like right. If you don't want Punk and Seth at WrestleMania, it damn sure better be a SummerSlam. Like it damn sure better be a SummerSlam. I honestly thought, on a side note, I thought it would have made sense for it to be Punk and Seth Saturday, because of how when he returned last year. I can't believe it's already been a year. It's insane how he returned. That like the story wrote itself. Like
you're talking me into this right now. I think Rollins is going to cost Punk in this match.
Yeah, and I'm like that would be perfect. It would say, your start became you started or you returned here. I end you here. It's there. It's there. Like it's too easy. Like it's on a silver platter, literally, to do that. But like I said, if they go that route, great. If it becomes Roman and Punk, also great. Because once again, because the story's there. There was granted, I don't think they would go into this route because not too many people remember that they were supposed to be part of the Shield, or they were supposed to be bodyguards for Punk when that happened. But the story's there. The story's there, and I think, to me, they also, I think apparently they had some type of issues in real life too. So yeah, I would love for that to be either Roman and Punk or Seth and Punk. Like somehow, some way, he needs to go through the Shield in 2025. Period. Like that would be amazing.
I'm with you there. Any chance we see The Rock?
Maybe at the end.
Anything physical, or just show up and point again?
Sure, point to the sign.
Well, he did the 1, 2, 3, and walked away.
Yeah, it's too early for that, but I hope it's physical, because I'm just like coming there and doing the okay. And I guess it feeds into the final boss persona thing. Great, awesome. I'd rather see him rock bottom somebody. That'd be awesome. Be cool if we rock bottom Roman. So set it up for. But the thing is, would they do that at Rumble if that was the case?
Well, I don't think.
And Lucas Oil. It's not like it's going to be at some small time arena. It's going to be at Lucas Oil, and I'm just like, why not?
There's going to be 50,000, or do you save it and try and put 75,000 in Vegas? Like, more eyes are going to be on the WWE, as always, for WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think that match would deliver regardless of where you put it. Personally,
yes.
The story, once again, writes itself. Like I wouldn't mind it being at Lucas. So obviously, I'm not going to be there in Indianapolis if it happens, but I wouldn't mind.
I'm shocked you're not going.
No, I haven't been to a Royal Rumble since 2003 when it was here. When Taker won.
Really?
Not Taker won. Taker didn't win. Jesus, Brock. Yeah, sorry.
I thought Shawn was going to win, but fucking Jericho threw him out of there.
Yeah.
Wait, saw 19 suplexes by Scott Steiner to Triple H in their World Championship match.
It's terrible. That quick aside, that might have been the worst title. That is the worst title match of all time.
No, it isn't, because they followed it up at No Way Out and did the exact same thing.
Yes. So bad. That was so bad. Oh, that was so bad.
But you had that was Benoit and Ankle, right?
What for the title?
For WWE title, yeah, because Kurt was champ.
Yes, yeah. Because I'm like, it's that like 22 years ago. Goodness, I remember, like I said, just Brock that was, but no, Taker returned there. That's what it was. He returned at that Royal Rumble, I believe. And that was a great year. But no, you're right though. They probably don't do it. Once again, Royal Rumble is the big PLE. To me, I don't think they should do a night 1, night 2 for Royal Rumble. So they just keep that how it is. But if there is,
unless there's a girls Rumble and then a men's
yeah.
Rumble.
So I mean,
you can do it.
Maybe they do it like that where they have matches. I mean, that's what it was. Sorry, that's if they do a night 1, night 2. That's the only other PLE they can do that with. You can't do it for Survivor Series. So got it.
Right.
That's yeah. Well, I just don't think it would make sense to do it for Survivor Series. But yeah, so okay. But yeah, I think that I'm either way. All those matches should happen in 2025. So Rock, Roman, Punk and Roman, Seth, and even Seth and Roman, because we still really haven't gotten a conclusion to that story. They had it. I think that match in 2022 at Royal Rumble, which
when
that
Seth
was
when Seth came out as with the Shield.
So good. And Roman's face, like, and that's what John Cena was talking about, like him being such a nuanced, actor in that ring. It's just like, his face tells the whole story, and then he moves. He starts off slow, and then he speeds up as the match ensues. So yeah, to me, there's many ways they can go. Like I said, the story's there too. Again, so you didn't help your brother in this moment. Like, all right, well let's settle it. So there's many ways they can go. Eventually, I want to see Ambrose return. Eventually, I'm just like, dude, just come home.
That's
like,
right.
come home. I think that would add another wrinkle to it as well. But we're a long way.
So who wins the match?
I think the OG Bloodline wins. I do.
Too.
But the only way I can see Bloodline 2.0 winning is if they had like Solo be the like lone survivor. That's the only way they can win. It can't be Tangaloa. It can't be.
It could be Fatu.
It has to be so. Yeah, it can be Fatu as well. But I feel like if you're building Solo like they've been building him, it makes sense to make him the guy, make him be the sole survivor in case if they want it. But if not, like I said, it should be Roman, with the ones in the sky, and everyone goes home happy. So
and then you hear "If You Smell."
Right, exactly. It's
before we go,
Yep.
I think the next time that we get on here is probably going to be for the Royal Rumble, so it'll be in January. I think unless you're living under a rock, Raw moves to January. Raw moves to Netflix in January.
Yep.
This could be the end of the PG era.
Yep.
How excited are you for this, and are you nervous about it? I guess. What are your thoughts on the movie? Because I do have mixed emotions. I think I do.
Well, I'm an answer kid. Of course, I want this. You know what I'm saying? I'm once again, I got a little bit older as the ruthless aggression era happened, but I'm an attitude era kid. So this is great. This is awesome. Not to say they would do it like Direct to Cloud type shit, but I'm like, I don't want that anymore. I don't want it's been said, it's real passe. I don't want passe. I want I want aggression. I want aggression. I want attitude. So we saw the two best eras of wrestling from 97 to to 09. I'm totally fine with that. So bring it on. Once again, if your appeal was to children, I get it. That's going to change a little bit because some things are not going to be as kid friendly. But once again, neither was Val Venus. Neither was Mark Henry dealing with Mae Young. Neither was the broad panty matches that we saw, even though they were great to see, but they wasn't kid friendly. So
I don't think we're going to be seeing those.
No, I know, but I'm saying I'm giving context because people are like, oh, what about the children? That's going to happen. I'm like, we saw a lot of stuff that we should have seen as young kids, and we turned out fine. So once again, we might see the NXT if that was the kid. The NXT came over. We might see some Could I be all here for Jada Parker? And it's
We know, right?
No, she's her and Tiffany Stratton. Ooh, they top two for me, bro. That's another podcast of the day. But yeah, but I say that to say I love the move. I know they love the move too because I said the money they got from it's going to be crazy. And
$5 billion, no big deal.
Right, no big deal. So I hope that the money for wrestlers go up. I hope that everyone is continues to eat. And yeah, but I'm excited for it overall. Of course, there could be something that goes wrong with it, but I think it's going to be great.
Like if you watch the Tyson Paul fight, like that could happen.
Yes,
but unfortunately for WWE, I don't think you're going to have 60 million people watching Monday Night Raw at once. If you do, like, holy shit. But listen, you have the potential to get more eyes. It will be weird to not watch Raw on the USA Network or on, it was Spike TV or TNN and then Spike TV. Like that's been like my Mondays, my entire fucking life.
That's
right. I watched the first one. I was 5. So it's gonna be weird watching the last one on network or broadcast television. But listen, I'm excited for the fact that I think the cuffs will be off to a certain extent. I don't need to see gratuitous violence every day or every week, but to know that they can swear and that there can be blood and that you never know that like it could happen again. That's really enough for a lot of people. Right now, it just feels like that it can't happen.
Right, because you think about, I think about guys like for instance, let's go back to 2017 before No Mercy, seeing Cena and Roman. That was a turning point for Roman Reigns in his career.
Of course it was.
Told him you were fake ass 2-time bitch. Called him on the ring. Crowd was like, oh, like it changed your thinking about it. So it was like, oh, okay, like he has some attitude to him. Obviously, Cena did what he did to him on the mic at that moment. But can you imagine they was able to have more verbal spars like that? Like that, that's what I'm looking for. I think Seth Rollins is going to do really well in this era because he's already
going to do well.
Yeah, Punk's going to do extremely well. There's a few
LA
guys.
Knight?
Who?
LA
yeah. So there's a few more I can think of that's going to do phenomenal on there. So I'm excited to see how some of these guys are able to be a little bit more expressive on there because I think sometimes when you are restricted, you're not as open with your words. So yeah, hey, let's get to it. I'm here for it.
Well, that'll do it. Another big 4 PLE that we talked about. Another one goes down. Tune in to Survivor Series. Obviously, this Saturday, special start time, 6 p.m. Eastern time on Peacock. It should be great. Like, subscribe, share. We will keep coming back. The next time you hear from the Kayfabe Critics crew will be in January for the Rumble. But for Hollywood Rayshawn and Buchanan, this is Michael Marcangelo saying thank you so much for listening to Kayfabe Critics. Talk to you later.
Hi, I'm Sherilyn Fenn from Twin Peaks. What did you do on your last Saturday night?
Did you hear something?
Toilet paper.
There's nada. The reserves have gone dry. People are hoarding it. I should have done that.
They're all out of hand sanitizer at my Target.
Mark, when did you last watch the news?
We are getting reports of forced quarantines in China, Japan, and now Italy.
You're cutting onions in half and putting them around your apartment.
Yes, exactly. It kills the COVID.
Excuse me?
Let's go, get in.
Vamos, rápido.
Have you ever driven one of these?
Never.
I'll drive, ladies.
I've got the keys.
Excuse me, I'm lost. I'm looking for my wife. I got turned around.
Join me, Eric Roberts, Jennifer Elise Cox, and Ed Asner for The Last Saturday Night, an Electrocast podcast. You'll love it. Electrocast. Electrocast.